Over the past few weeks and months, we've heard from the strongly polarised camps directly connected to Pike River. The families and their supporters, many of them mine experts, who say they want access to the mine. And the government and Solid Energy, who strongly argue against human re-entry. Now, people listening could be forgiven for confusion. Same mine, such different takes on it. United Future's Peter Dunne, this confusion has now grown to disquiet. The more he hears, the less certain he actually knows what the right thing to do is. He's now calling for the government to step back from the fray somewhat and make sure all material about Pike River is in the public domain so that the best decision about what happens next can be made robustly in full view of all interested parties. In short, information is power for everyone involved in Pike.
I'm someone who, when this awful tragedy first occurred, thought it was terrible, it was extremely unfortunate, etc., etc., but that it was probably unsafe to go back into the mine, and the bodies were best left where they were to rest in peace in a permanent memorial. And I think most people were probably of that persuasion, hard and all as it might have been for the families. But as time has gone by, and it's now nearly 7 years, and we haven't got anywhere near a certainty or a sense of conclusion, I think that basically it starts to gnaw at you that there's obviously got to be more to this, and we are not getting the full story, and therefore we can't eventually lay this issue to rest.
And yet we have had a Royal Commission, and the Minister and Solid Energy are saying, no, there is nothing new, everything that needs to be known is known.
Yes, and then we get the release of the videos over recent weeks, which would tend to raise either two questions, either so that this material was known at the time and not made public, or secondly, this is fresh material that wasn't available to the Royal Commission and to others. And I think people can be forgiven for feeling a sense of confusion and a sense of unease that they aren't being told the full story. Now, it may well be that those concerns are unfounded, but until we get some mechanism for putting all the facts out there so that people can assess for themselves, I think those doubts are always going to remain.
Is it fair of me to say that you have not strongly supported, for example, a human re-entry, mines rescue personnel going up the drift? Is that still your position?
That's been my position. It's still, I suppose, more my position than not. But as each day goes by and as each new revelation occurs, I do feel somewhat shaken in that view. I'm not as confident of it as I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago. No, I've got no direct interest or involvement in this issue. I've got no family connection or anything of that nature. So I just draw the conclusion that if someone like me, who is quite detached, is starting to feel uncertainty and anxiety, I can only but begin to imagine what those much more closely linked, including direct family members, must be feeling: the anguish, the uncertainty, I guess the mounting frustration and anger. And it seems to me that, 7 years on, this shouldn't be the case.
Do you support re-entry then?
It's hard to say at this stage. I think if it is able to be done in a way that does not endanger human lives, absolutely. But again, I don't think we've got the information available to make that conclusive statement, and this is really part of the problem. While it is held out there as being a possibility, people will cling to it. But if it can be clearly proven one way or the other, then it's part of the process of starting to get some finality on the matter.
Peter Dunne, United Future leader, talking to us earlier.